Hello and welcome to the Young Folk Knits podcast. Let's chat about some 2023 knitting plans. Hello y'all, and welcome to the Young Folk Knits podcast. If you're a returning viewer, then welcome back. My name is Casey, and I live on a small farm in Arkansas with my husband and our children, where we are beekeepers and we raise animals and gardens and just love spending time outdoors here in the foothills of the Ozarks. This is a channel where I mainly chat about knitting. I do also share a bit about some of my other crafts like sewing, crochet, spinning, who knows what else. Also, I'm sorry about my voice. I am still recovering from being sick and my voice has not quite come back yet. It hasn't stopped me yet though. So recently I made a video all about my me-made closet, and I really thought about some different things I wanted to add to my closet. Some holes that I found, some different types of garments and shawls, hats, socks, all kinds of different areas that I really wanted to make a few things to add into my wardrobe. And I thought it would be a good time to sit down and chat a little bit about what my plans are for 2023. Also, y'all, I have a shameful amount of yarn. I really do. I started collecting yarn 10 years ago, and I still got yarn from 10 years ago. So I need to start letting those go. But to start out with, I thought it would be nice to go through my yarn and make a list of what I already have for projects and what of those projects I want to make this year. I have multiple times made a Make 9, and I almost never make the things on my Make 9. That's because I like to change my mind. In the words of Shania Twain, if I change my mind a million times, I want to hear him say, yeah, yeah, yeah. I like it that way. So on that note, while these are my current plans for 2023, I have no doubt that new patterns will be released and I will immediately want to jump on that bandwagon. I'm sure I'll want to make a Rhinebeck sweater this year, especially since I have hopes of attending Rhinebeck in person. So I know this list will probably be dashed to pieces, but these are the plans. So I have another podcast style video coming out that is going to be talking about all of my current whips. And so I'm not going to really include those in my plans video. I will chat more about them in the other episode that is coming. But let's start with pullovers. So even though I said that I am going to show you one that I have cast on, this is my Easy V pullover. It is barely done at all, and that is because I started it in a size 6. I wanted it oversized, but I got concerned it was going to be like way oversized. So I ripped that totally out and I went down to a size 5, and I'm hoping that this will be a better fit for me. I've done the collar, the V-neck, and I have started the color work in the spin cycle, which I'm very excited about, and I want to work on it so badly, but I need to finish my test knits first. But these are the spin cycle colors that I am using, and they are the worsted weight Dream State base. And then here's my main color, which is a Rambouillet worsted weight. I love it. So I would like to finish that up. I only have a couple of V-neck pullovers. I think this is gonna be an awesome addition to add to my wardrobe. And I love the V-neck shaping. It's a V in the front, a V in the back, and then has this really cool shaping at the shoulders too. So I think it's a little bit extra, and I am going to love having that in my wardrobe. So finish that first up on my list. Another pullover that I do have yarn for and I really want to make is the new sweater that Caitlin Hunter from Boyland Knitworks recently released, and it is the Ilia sweater. So I have got some Yama yarn, which is a merino linen worsted. I think it's a 2-ply. Yes, it's a 2-ply. It's super wash. It's very soft, but I love that it has that just 10% of linen. It's a dyer in South Africa, I believe, is where she's at. And it says, yes, hand dyed in Cape Town, South Africa. She makes the most gorgeous sweaters. But I got these two colors from her recent release. This is a faded khaki, and this is chocolate bark number 1. And then what I think I'm gonna do is have the cowl neck in this chocolate color, the body in this khaki color. And then I had previously bought a few different colors from her, just like one-off skeins. And I think I'm gonna throw these in as some color work. So I've got this maple color, this is rose taupe, and then this is sky. So I think that would just add some pretty contrast in there. And I really love the cowl neck. This is so soft. I think it would be heavenly to wear. I love the fact that this sweater is a yoke sweater. It's the way it starts out, a circular yoke. But then you start doing raglan increases, and that fit seems to be perfect for me. Whenever I have knit the ranunculus sweater by Midori Hirose, it has you do a circular yoke, but then for, I don't know if it's just for the bigger sizes, but I did raglan increases. The fit is spectacular because I don't have super broad shoulders, but I am very busty, so I need smaller here, but then I need, you know, pretty quick increase here going down. So I think that fit for the Ilia sweater is gonna be really nice. I'm excited to try it out, and I think some fun color work in a soft yarn will be nice to knit with, something different. I'm fully aware that there's probably no way possible that I could, if I wanted to, knit all of the things on my list. But I'm gonna go through some things that I want to knit anyway. It's a lot, I know, it's a lot. Next up, I want to knit this as part of the Bougie Sweatshirt Knit Along, which is starting December 28th and going through March 31st, 2023. And my friend Megan from Native Fibers very generously sent me some different yarn. And the first one I'm going to show you that she sent me is this gorgeous, what base is this? Tundra Sport. So it's 50% merino and 50% alpaca. So I have got a couple different bases that are 50-50 wool and alpaca. And that is the Isire Alpaca 2 base, which is a fingering base. And then I've also knit with the Barocco Ultra Alpaca? I have that both in a worsted and a light or a DK base, and it is also that 50-50. However, it's a little bit on the itchy side, the Barocco one, just a little bit. This, however, is a superwash merino, and then the 50% alpaca. Y'all, is there anything softer in the world? I don't think so. It is amazing. So she let me pick out this color, Hearth. It has this slight halo, and it is beautiful. It is beautiful. So I think that I'm gonna use this for the Serene sweater, probably not saying that correctly, by Kadri. And I think it's gonna be so nice with that cowl neck. It's gonna be absolutely wonderful. And it does call for a DK weight, but I am a very loose knitter, and I usually have zero issues getting gauge with a lighter yarn than it's called for. So I think this is gonna be absolutely perfect, and I'm ready to cast it on immediately. Thank you, Megan. She also sent me this incredible worsted weight yarn, and it is the Red Wolf worsted base, and it is a non-superwash, but then it has these nubs in it, and the color in it is amazing. This is my color. This is it. So she sent me a sweater quantity of this along with this Prancing Pony colorway. It's the worsted base as well. And y'all, oh my goodness, okay? Look at this purple. Megan is an amazing dyer. So she sent me these two to make a sheep camp sweater with. And I think that these would look so good together, but I am extremely tempted to use this color for the sheep camp sweater and pull this out and use it as a hat for myself. So I'm gonna talk about that later. But I think that this would make a gorgeous sheep camp sweater. And I have some one-off worsted weight skeins from Woolberry that I get monthly as their subscription, and so I could easily pull one of those to use as my contrast color. But I think that the sheep camp sweater is gorgeous. I absolutely love it, and I think in this yarn it would just be off the charts. Spectacularly fabulous. My word of 2023 is fabulous. So thank you, Megan of Native Fibers. I am super excited to knit this up. She is so sweet. You guys should definitely follow her and get some of her yarn because you will not be disappointed. Another pullover plan that I have in mind is a hazel sweater by Petite Knit. I think I'm gonna knit that out of some Double Sunday yarn from Sandnes Garn. I found a colorway that is on sale and it's like $7 a ball. So I may end up knitting that hazel sweater. It is definitely on my list. I absolutely love the fact that it has all over ribbing, and I really, really love the split hem. So I'm wearing this really cozy sweatshirt that I absolutely love, and it has that split hem in it that just makes it so comfortable. Adds a little bit more of a flattering fit for me, and I like that split. The hazel sweater has that split in it as well, so I'm really wanting to knit that. The other option I'm thinking of is holding some Knitting for Olive cotton merino double. And surprisingly, I have priced it out and it will cost exactly the same to knit it with the Double Sunday on sale or holding Knitting for Olive cotton merino double. Basically, I'm just trying to decide if I want to knit an entire sweater of ribbing with 2 strands and cotton content. It sounds a bit miserable, but I think the fabric with the cotton content would be really nice for me living in Arkansas. Ugh, poor Mika from Skeins of Dreams. She always gets my questions. I'm like, should I do this or should I do this? Which color should I use? Should I use this color? Should I use that color? I make her tell me. I'm like, tell me what to do. And she always tells me, and then I always do exactly whatever it is I want to do. I'm sorry, Mika. I'm one of those people, I demand your opinion and then I do whatever I want. Another sweater that I have yarn for is the sweater number 20 by My Favorite Things Knitwear. And I was highly influenced by Cece from Stitch Witchcraft, and she, you know, just posted pictures along her whole process of knitting that sweater, and I was drooling the entire time. The cables are absolutely delicious. And I have been really wanting to try some Filcolana Peruvian Highland wool. It's their Aran weight base, and I can't find it anywhere. I know they sell it at Fairlight Fibers here in the US, but they don't ever have enough or the specific color maybe that I'm looking for in stock. It may be because of the whole COVID thing has caused a lot of supply issues, but I've had serious trouble finding it in the US. So Rebecca from the Crayabea podcast, I was chatting with her and she told me that she gets hers from knit.co UK. They seem to constantly be restocking their colors. So I was able to get some of the Filcolana Peruvian Highland wool and also a strand of the lace weight alpaca that the sweater pattern calls for. I was excited because it wasn't a mohair, it actually called for an alpaca by Filcolana. So I was able to order both of those. I actually ordered it a while ago and I can't tell. I don't think it has shipped yet, but I also have been told by Rebecca that the Royal Air Mail, what is it? Their postal service is experiencing a lot of delays right now, so I'm being patient, but I would love to knit that sweater this year. So another pullover that I do have yarn for and I would like to try to make this year is the Brassé pullover by Marie Wallen. It's just this really lovely color work pullover. This is the main color. It's knit in Jamieson's Shetland Spindrift, and it is, what is this color? Bramble. Just this gorgeous heathered purple. I think that these are all of the colors that are in it. I think I pulled one of each, but it's just absolutely gorgeous. Oh wait, I'm still missing one color. Oh well, that's okay. But Nikki from the Knitting with Cat Hair podcast is hosting another year of Marie Wallen Make Along. And this is the sweater that I want to make for the make along. For the sake of time, I'm gonna move on to cardigans. Okay, a couple of cardigans that I have yarn for. First of all, I got this Sonder Yarn DK. It's their Sunday Morning DK 7525 BFL Mash and Mix. And this is the color Full English. I absolutely love this color. It's a sort of rusty brown whiskey cognac. It's a little bit brighter. So I have bought this to knit the Winter's Beach Cardi by Andrea Mowry. And that is my plan. I like the cables on it. I like the pockets. That is one cardigan that I am ready to go on though. Another one I have yarn for is also an Andrea Mowry cardigan, and it is the Spark cardigan. So it's an all-over color work cardigan that has a belt tie and a shawl collar. You actually knit it in the round and steek it afterwards. So I got some Nest Worsted by Magpie Fibers. This is their 100% non-superwash Corriedale yarn in the color Twilight Honey. And I absolutely love this color. And for my contrast color, I decided to use Willolo. Yeah, I can't tell if the camera is picking it up or not. But yes, I've had that yarn for over a year now and I really want to make it. Keep getting sidetracked by test knits though. So this is a plate of the Newton yarn. So this is a Patreon only colorway that Miga from Skeins of Dreams got. And I really wanted to try Newton, so she let me buy this colorway from her. She had another one. And I was just going to hold it double and make a vest, but I recently got this Surrey yarn, beautiful Surrey yarn from Savannah Rose. From Savannah Rose Yarn Co. Is it Savannah Rose Handmade? I have to look it up again on Instagram. But it's absolutely gorgeous, and I really think that these two held together would be beautiful. And if that's the case, if I held these two together, I would have enough to make a full sweater instead of just a vest. So I am trying to decide, do I want to make a vest out of this, held double? I could even hold it double with this as well, with the Surrey, or do I want to make a pullover or a cardigan? I'm not sure, but I would love to use this Newton this year. I'm still contemplating. Okay, so as far as accessories, I would love to knit this up into a Harlow worsted hat, or Pearl Soho has a couple of different free hat patterns. Anna from Brook Willow made a hipster hat by Petite Knit in almost this exact color, so I know that it would look good in a ribbed hat, and that is my plan. I currently have the Iris hat and the Pearl Soho classic ribbed hat on my needles, and neither one of them have been touched, so I should probably finish those first, but I probably won't. So normally I'm a big shawl knitter. In years past, I've devoted a lot of time to knitting shawls and maybe a couple of sweaters in a year. This past year, I noticed I was really heavy on the garment knitting, and I really didn't get to knit very many shawls, maybe a couple. And because of that, I'm craving some shawls this year. So let's just ignore the ones I have on my needles. A few that I would love to make this year is, first of all, a current mood shawl, which is a brioche shawl. And I recently got these yarns from the book trope collection that Erin did from Coast to Coast Yarn Co. They're absolutely gorgeous. So this is the Fall from Grace color. This is Grumpy Sunshine, and this is Chosen One. And I'm absolutely in love with them. I think they'll make a beautiful 3-color brioche shawl. I was also really bad and got some more linen quill to make half and half shawls. The first ones that I got were actually from a Ravelry stash, and it was the butterscotch color, and then I also ordered some lavender opal, and that was a color combo I had seen Stacy from Stress Knits do, and I really liked it. Then they've been having a 25% off sale at Pearl Soho, and I could not resist this color combo, which was restocked. And that is the Raw Sienna and the Peach Stone colors. And I just think they're absolutely beautiful together. It's a little bit deeper, moodier of the same colors as the butterscotch and the lavender opal. So same color family, just darker, more saturated, deeper. And back to brioche. On our anniversary, I was able to go in a actual yarn store, which is the closest yarn store to me. It is Yarn Candy. It's still a couple hours away, but it is so nice to get to go inside a yarn store. And I was able to pick out the skeins that I wanted. So I ended up going with Wololo, which I feel like I always use Wololo and Mississippi Marsala. I love both of them. But this Wololo I got is different than the other ones I have. I got a few skeins of it, and I loved getting to pick out the skeins that I wanted. So here is Wololo on Dyed in the Wool. And I got 3 skeins of this. And then this was their DK Versus maybe. Here's another one of the Wololo caked up. I love it so much. So I think this is gonna make a beautiful Cinnabar shawl by Andrea Mowry. And then last but not least on the shawl front, I have in my mind a Birds of a Feather shawl by Andrea Mowry. And I can just see it in so many different colorways, but I think in a golden brown, like a sandy golden brown, whiskey cognac color. More sandy though, golden brown. Yes, a golden brown. I think with a matching sari would be absolutely beautiful. So I'm on the hunt for yarn to make that this year at some point. And another thing I definitely need are socks. So Andrea Mowry recently released her DK sock pattern. I think they're called the Bear Paw socks. And when I saw that Farmer's Daughter Fibers yarn had yak content in it, I had to have it because I absolutely love yak. And then I saw that they had it in the DK base, so I did not have to hold yarn together, and that was it. So I ordered this in the Sunstone color. It's their Bear Paw DK sock base. And it's absolutely beautiful. It has such a richness to it because of the yak content. I think that the yarn estimate, actually I needed 2 skeins of this. I probably could have made them shorter, but I like taller socks. So I got 2 skeins of it, and what I will do with my leftover yarn is probably make a pair of matching socks for one of my kiddos. One other thing I think I would like to do is spend enough yarn to knit a sweater this year. So that is one other goal that I have. My voice is starting to go, so I'm gonna call it there. We won't even talk about the other yarn I've got because it's a tad bit embarrassing anyway. I hope that you all enjoy the last few days of 2022, and if you're making plans for 2023, I'd love to hear what some of them are. I don't know, I'm kind of halfway. I make the plans. I like to plan and make lists, but then I let the wind blow me as it will, and I pick whatever I feel like in the moment. I have a couple of other items, like a blouse and vest and things like that I didn't talk about today, but I have cast those on, and I'll be chatting about them on my next podcast episode, so stay tuned for that. And I will be announcing the winner of the yarn from my last episode on my next podcast episode, which should be out in a couple of days. Until we chat again, happy knitting, y'all.